Recently, Excalibur News sat down with Toronto's Mayor Rob Ford to discuss a number of issues relevant to university students. Now, Mr. Ford, some issues that come to mind with university students, especially at a campus like York University, which is primarily commuter, is of course transit. Now, your new transit plan has focused on creating more subway stops and lines, as well as of course making the TTC an essential service. Could you please explain and clarify what kind of implications your new transit plan is going to have on the university commuter population?
Well, thanks, Jacqueline. It's very, very simple. I campaigned that we're going to build subways. People wanted to have a Shepherd line connect to the Scarborough Town Centre, and obviously people endorsed that. People were very reluctant about the LRTs. They saw what happened on St. Clair. St. Clair was budgeted $40 million. It went up over $120 million. People said you can't mismanage a budget like that of $80 million. The people in the area didn't want it. The traffic congestion is very, very bad. So what people told me during the campaign is, Rob, let's not have any more LRTs. Let's get more buses up to universities like yourself, and let's get the traffic flowing. Okay. And let's not have fare increases. As you know, there was a proposed 10-cent fare increase. I said, I'm not going to have a fare increase because students cannot afford it. And we got that taken off the table.
Absolutely. I think what's on the mind of York University students today, however, is of course the TTC plan to reduce the number of hours on a number of routes that are considered the low ridership routes. And many York students have classes that go till 10 at night and later, and they stay at school. What kind of accommodations are going to be made for these students?
If I had my way, I think it's important that we keep everything. But again, I'm not the expert at that. There's costs affected with keeping all the routes, and at the end of the day, I think everything comes down to money, and I don't want to see fare increases go up. So, like I said, I got rid of that 10-cent fare increase, which is very, very important.
Absolutely. All right, now turning this tide over to safety issues. Of course, safety is at the foremost concern for many York students, and I know your campaign outlined a number of community safety initiatives. Do you have anything planned for the Jane and Finch and University Heights neighborhood?
Well, I sat down with the chief. I campaigned on adding 100 more police officers, as you know, and the chief said they don't need them right now. So I'm not the expert, obviously, in policing. The police are, and I have a very good working relationship with the police. Understanding crime, if you look at my area, Ward 2, Rexdale, when I was a counselor for 10 years, I turned it around. I worked with the youth and started getting them to arts programs, started getting them into sports, trying to get them out of the gangs, out of jail, putting on a positive pursuit in life. So I know you're concentrating on Jane and Finch because it would obviously affect your area, but I have to look at the whole city, and that's what I'm doing. So I have a lot of experience in turning around areas that have been plagued with problems, and I'll assure you, as mayor, I will be doing that for the whole city. And Jane and Finch is definitely one of my priorities.
Okay, can we expect a timeline as to when we will be seeing some more officers perhaps implemented in the area?
You'd have to talk to the chief and the police services board about that. Similar to, I don't have the power to go out and say we're going to hire 100 or 200, 300 police officers and we're going to put them here, there, and there. That's, the chief and the police services board makes those decisions.
And finally, turning the tide once again to your budget. Of course, your budget has outlined tax cuts to property and vehicle registration. But what forms of relief are being incorporated for the students who neither own a house nor drive a car?
I got lobbied hard from a lot of students to get rid of the $60 car tax. A lot of students, and maybe you're not one of them that doesn't drive a car, but a lot of students did drive a car and say, Rob, I can't afford the $60. Can you get rid of it? I'm a student. I work part-time. And the students came and said, Rob, I can't afford this 10-cent fare increase. I said, I'll make it as cost-effective for you. And, I'm not much older than a lot of the students are. We're a younger generation, and I understand the challenges you have. My job is to lower the taxes, create jobs, have businesses come into the city for students like yourself. When you get out of university, you have a job waiting for you. unfortunately, right now, we don't have that economy here. Our commercial tax rate is so high, people aren't coming to the city to create jobs anymore. So I have to give some tax relief to people like yourselves that are working, getting an education to go out and get a good paying job. But if our taxes are too high, who's going to come here when they can go to the 905 or 519 and pay, you know, half of the commercial tax rate? So I'm doing everything in my power to put more money in your pocket so you can go out and spend that money, stimulate the economy, create the jobs, and also entice business people to come here to open up business.
Any final remarks that you'd like to give to your students, and in particular, any advice to our football team?
It's just, you know, I support York. I actually went to Atkinson College, night school. I go up and watch York play a lot of the time. I know you're having your challenges now, but you'll turn it around. You've got a new coach in there, so you know, go York, go. So I'll be up there in the fall like I am every year, and good luck. And if I can help any students out anytime, you can feel free to call me. At my office, my number is 397-FORD, 416-397-FORD, or 397-3673.
Right.
So I encourage people to call me. If they have any issues, I'd be more than happy to I'll contact them or respond to them.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Ford.
Thank
It was a
you.
pleasure
Thank
to
you,
meet
Jacqueline. Excellent. All the best to you.
While Mayor Ford has only been in office for a short period of time, he remains adamant about keeping tax dollars in students' pockets. This has been Jacqueline Perlin reporting from City Hall, Excalibur News.